Mr. Mayor.
All right, let's call the meeting to order. Everyone, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Any changes to the agenda?
Council notes, they were provided with the revised agenda that came out after the initial agenda. It's a couple modifications. One modification was just add a discussion item under city council related to mayor, council, and commissioner compensation.
Okay. Everyone okay with the agenda?
Motion to approve as amended.
Motion by Bryce.
Second.
Second by Kate, all in favor? Aye. Agenda is adopted. We have a number of presentations, which I'm guessing you're all here for, the presentations. We will start with the city employees. First person I want to recognize is Renee Christensen. Where is Renee? Oh, there you are. Renee Christensen started with the city of Elko, New Market in July of 2016. Renee has been the first point of contact for developers and businesses considering Elko, New Market. She administers and monitors planning policies, activities, proprieties, and projects, ensuring compliance with applicable rules and regulations that provides expertise and recommendations to the city council on matters related to zoning, development, and associated ordinances. Renee has over 20 years of planning experience. The city of Elko, New Market recognizes and thanks Renee for her 5 years of dedicated and valuable service to the citizens of Elko, New Market. Melissa Wirtz has started with the city of Elko, New Market in October of 2016. Melissa is the police department's weekend daytime officer, working every other weekend. Melissa has over 15 years of public safety and private security experience. Melissa has a full-time job as owner of 2 health clubs in neighboring communities. The city of Elko, New Market recognizes and thanks Melissa for her 5 years of dedicated and valuable service to the citizens of Elko, New Market. Officer Josh Garris, I know he's here, I saw him somewhere.
I can't, there's too many people, I can't go over.
You're in a good spot there.
Come on up here. I'm the one person that gets to order him what to do.
Probably right in the middle. Thanks.
Appreciate that. That's good. Josh started with the city of Elko, New Market in February of 2016. Josh is the department's senior patrol officer and has a total of 15 years of experience as a police officer. Josh serves the department as the use of force instructor, firearms instructor, department armorer, and field training officer. The city of Elko, New Market recognizes and thanks Josh for his 5 years of dedicated and valuable service to the citizens of Elko, New Market. Stone isn't here, but I'd still like to recognize her. Jane Stone started with the city of Elko, New Market in June of 2011. Jane is the police department's record technician and has worked for the police department on a part-time basis for over 10 years. Jane oversees all the data entry for the police department, or for the police and fire department's records, and keeps both departments in compliance with state laws. She also serves full-time for the Rice County Sheriff's Office, where she performs many of the same functions. City of Elko, New Market recognizes and thanks Jane for her 10 years of dedicated and valuable service to the citizens of Elko, New Market. Bob Wright, see him? Hey. Bob Wright. He served as a firefighter for over 10 years. Bob started with the fire department in December of 2011. In the past, Bob was a lieutenant and has many years of involvement with the Fire Rescue Days Committee. The city of Elko, New Market recognizes and thanks Bob for his decade of dedicated and valuable service to the citizens of Elko, New Market and the rest of the fire service area.
We're getting a speech out of you.
Excuse me. Bruce has served as a firefighter for over 25 years. Bruce started with the fire department in March of 1996. Bruce has been a training officer for the department and has been involved with the Relief Association for many years as a trustee. The City of Elko New Market recognizes and thanks Bruce for his 25 years of dedicated and valuable service to the citizens of the City of Elko New Market and the rest of the fire service area. Sadie Miller. Sadie?
Right here, that's you.
Oh, there you go. A lot of people. Sadie has served as a Parks Commissioner since March of 2011. Sadie brought energy and enthusiasm for starting new recreational programs, expanding existing ones, and has had a hand in nearly all the major park improvement projects in the city for the past 11 years. Sadie has been involved in completing projects such as the award-winning Wagner Park Shelter, the development of 2 new parks, the upgrade of 7 neighborhood parks, the refurbishment of the skate park, the construction of 2 new hockey rinks, a disc golf course, and nearly 5 miles of new trails. The dedication and positive impact on Elko New Market's parks and trails will be enjoyed by the residents for years to come. The City of Elko New Market recognizes and thanks Sadie for her commitment to the Parks and Recreation Board and dedicated valuable service to the citizens of Elko New Market. Dennis Melgard has served as a Parks Commissioner since March of 2011. Dennis has spent the majority of his lifetime in the service of both the former City of Elko and to the merged City of Elko New Market. Dennis was originally elected as the mayor of Elko in 1969. Then served on the City Council for the former City of Elko and the merged City of Elko New Market until 2010. Not content after retiring from the City Council, Dennis was appointed to the Parks Commission in March of 2011. Dennis has served 11 years on the Parks and Recreation Commission. In his 53 years of service, Dennis has guided the city through the construction of the sewer system, the rapid growth of the community, the merger of the former cities of Elko and New Market, as well as the development of most of the city's services and facilities. On the Parks and Recreation Commission, his contributions to the redevelopment of the city's parks and trails were many. Like Sadie, Dennis was involved in completing projects such as the award-winning Wagner Park Shelter, the development of 2 new parks, the upgrade of 7 neighborhood parks, the refurbishment of the skate park, the construction of 2 new hockey rinks, a disc golf course, and nearly 5 miles of new trails. Dennis's strong advocacy for the development of the city's paved trail system is his most visible impact on the city's parks and trail system. He'll be remembered for his historical knowledge of everything in the city, as well as his sense of humor and common sense approach. The list of accomplishments, everything that Dennis has touched in his time in the City Council and on the Parks and Recreation Commission, is too long to recite. Suffice to say, he will be missed, and the legacy of his public service will be long-lasting. The City of Elko New Market recognizes and expresses its deepest gratitude for Dennis and his commitment and dedicated and valuable service to the citizens of Elko New Market. Presentation tonight. This is from the county. I assume largely that's what brings you here, right? That's right. Expanded access to the library.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. My name is,
Just for all those that are here that are planning on leaving after the recognition of those I want to thank you all for coming and welcome to leave, and you're welcome to stay as well.
thank you.
It's ready to go. Was.
Are we going? They would have stayed if you mentioned my presentation.
Now.
16 start here.
Oh, now you're putting pressure on me. The games start tonight? Oh,
It's
great.
also a mild game, 15 minutes.
If you do, I'll just, or you want to just.
I brought a clicker if you want.
Why don't we do my thing next time? I mean, honestly,
I'm just giving you a hard time.
no, I'm gonna be here in 2 weeks.
We'll talk about that.
To plug into the, yeah.
Thank you. That is all right. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. My name is Chris Harder. I work for Scott County, and I'm currently serving as the interim library director. Many of you probably know Jake Grusing, whose position I'm attempting to fill in for a short time. We came tonight to talk about extended access in the library. And extended access is really an initiative to expand the already quality service that's happening in your library, make it more available to people for more hours every day, for more hours every week. Initially, this initiative was piloted in Jordan. And Christy Rieger, who is the technology manager from the Scott County Library System, is going to talk with you in detail about what we've learned from the Jordan experience. While we were doing that, we had opportunity to access a large sum of federal money through the ARPA funds and spoke with the county board, and really unanimously, I believe, Commissioner Wolf, all 5 commissioners supported the idea of working with our city partners to open up expanded access in all of the libraries in Scott County based on our experience in Jordan. So we just wanted a chance to talk with you, tell you a little more about it. It's certainly our interest to move forward with all of the libraries in Scott County on a planning tangent. You would be next. Christy's going to talk a little bit about the reasons for that as well. And so with that, I'm going to ask you to walk through the PowerPoint. Very good. Very good. Thank you.
Good evening. As Chris mentioned, my name is Christy Rieger, and I am the technology manager for Scott County Libraries. So I've shared a presentation with you today, and also there is a handout, I think if we want to pass it that way, that you will see that's got some data that will demonstrate what we've been seeing in Jordan, and also some testimonials on the back side to share what some of the residents in Jordan and some of our pilot members have experienced using this service. PowerPoints. All right, so what is extended access? So you may have previously heard of this service as open libraries, but we want to make sure that we share the name extended access to really explain what this does. So extended access is a model that allows us to use self-service technology to provide library card holders access to the libraries during designated times outside of staffed hours. So a vendor solution is installed that mediates access. So it's not that we're going to throw open the doors to the Elko New Market Library or the Jordan Library or anything else. It's a actual add-on membership service that you can sign up for with your library card. So in the image here, you can see what it kind of looks like on the outside. This is my colleague Brittany Brown, the branch manager at the Jordan Library. And what Britt is holding is a library card, and she's holding it right underneath a little scanner in a little access box called the control panel that allows the customer to be able to scan their library card and then, enter their PIN number, and then the door will unlock for them. Now, why are we trying to pursue extended access at all of our different libraries? And the reason for that is because extended access empowers residents to access the library when it works for them. So one of the things that we know is that it's challenging to bring library services whenever, 24/7. It's not realistic to have staff members in the library at midnight. It's not necessarily makes sense to have library staff members in the building at 10 p.m., but we also know that people's schedules have changed. We know that people have different needs. There may be parents who have kids who need to be able to get stuff, Sunday night. I got to print something, or I got to get a book for class the next day. Or you have commuters who have an early morning shift and they want to be able to come to the library to grab their holds before they go to work. And unfortunately, we may not be open at that time. So extended access allows those customers to sign up for the ability to unlock the library to use all the services that you see here. So that means that they'll be able to use computers and the Wi-Fi. They'll be able to use the copiers and other self-service technology. They'll be able to pick up their holds, browse the collection, or even use a study room. So what is the problem that we're trying to solve here? Up on the top row, you can see the current hours of the Elko New Market Library. Elko New Market is currently open 24 hours a week. You can see,
Sorry.
that's okay. You can see that there's some time periods that maybe aren't working for everybody in the community. Obviously, if you work during the 9 to 5 time, being able to access your library on a Monday, a Tuesday, or a Friday isn't working for you. And also likewise, you might want to stop into the library on a day that it's closed. Unfortunately, that's not the case. With extended access on the bottom row, you can see that residents who signed up for this service will gain about 88 hours more to access their library than they were before they had this service. So to tell you a little bit about the story of extended access, we started looking into this model a couple of years ago. So in September of 2018, going into 2019, the county had a fantastic opportunity to use some fantastic brains at the University of Minnesota through a project called the Resilient Communities Project. So we at the library, me in particular, worked with graduate students at both the university and at St. Catherine's University in their library science program to research self-service libraries. So self-service access is very common in Europe. So Denmark, Sweden, this model that we're offering is very common and expected in those countries. So the students were able to actually reach out and get some really good data from all over the place to find some best practices. And also, they were able to talk to the vendor that we work with and ask them, hey, can we talk to some of the other people who use this service? So they were calling up Gwinnett County, Georgia, they were calling California, and we were hearing from our peers on opposite ends of the country to hear, well, how does this work for you? And how can we make this work here in Scott County? So we spent a long time planning and researching after that. We were all set to launch in March of 2020. You all know what happened next. Things got a little derailed. But we were able to pick back up last September to do a pilot launch back in Jordan. So we had 46 people from all over the county, mostly Jordan residents, but lots of people from other places, to be able to test the service from September to October 31st. And we gathered a ton of really fantastic data and feedback from those people. They were able to come in 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. They were able to tell us, when I go to a self-check, I don't like that it can't do this. It's not really clear when I go into the computer and do this. And they helped us really understand our processes and understand what that experience maybe feels like, so that way we can make sure that they feel safe, that they feel comfortable, that it's a pleasant experience. And in November of 2021, we opened up the service and allowed everybody who has a Scott County library card and is age 16 and older to be able to use the service at the Jordan Library. So for the past couple months, I know Jake Grusing has been having meetings with the City of Elko Market. Today we're presenting to you, and we're aiming for a June launch. Obviously, things could get changed. We know that sometimes vendors take a second to get things, technical difficulties happen, but we are truly aiming for a summer launch here in Elko New Market. So what's actually going to change at the Elko New Market Library? The answer is not much. So when you are using the Elko New Market Library during this service, the library isn't going to look that different. We don't plan to change much in the space. We don't plan to really move shelves around or anything like that. And we also know that one really important thing in the community is that large community room. We know that that is a very popular space. So I want to make sure that it's clear right now that we actually plan to keep that room locked during extended access hours, and it's also going to continue to be by reservation only. And in case you haven't used it before, there is an alternative entrance on the side of the building, so we're going to make sure that that continues to be preserved for the community. What are we modifying or adding in the building? We're going to be adding that card reader, so that's that black box that you saw in the first picture. And we're also going to be adding security cameras for safety. That is truly the main change that we're really going to make to the actual space. So what will potentially impact the city budget? We know from Jordan that the more people who are in the space, we're going to have more people using the bathrooms, more people in the library. So we anticipate that we may have to add an additional day of cleaning. We know also from Jordan that we want to make sure that we have some energy efficiency with the lights. So we recommend adding some motion sensors to the lights, pretty low cost. And also, I don't really know if this is going to have a cost because it's something that we do already, but we want to make sure that we have increased attention to shoveling sidewalks and making sure the parking lot is plowed. Now, when we did that research project, we had the students launch a survey that was responded to by about 1,800 people throughout the county with library cards. And we asked, how would you feel about this service? What are you concerned about? And there were some really clear trends in that data. The first thing is that we heard that people really care about our staff and they really care about our services, which was great. They're concerned that, one, the level of services that they're currently receiving from the library will decrease, or that we will be cutting staff. I want to be clear that the current level of services that we're offering is not going down and our staff are staying where they are. We are not cutting staffed hours. So extended access is not intended to replace library staff. It is an add-on benefit to the community. The other thing that was really clear is that residents are concerned about their safety and they're concerned about the security of the space. They want to make sure that this community space that they really care about is cared for by the people who are using it. So we have put some things in place to make sure that we can maintain that promise to the community, that when you visit your library, whether it's extended access hours or staffed hours, that you will feel safe and that your library is still going to be a wonderful place for you to be. So here's some of those measures that we put into place. Like I said, we are not throwing open the doors and saying you can come into the library 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. You do have to register to use the service, so it is an opt-in. It is available to everybody who has a card and is age 16 and older. Obviously, 16, 17-year-olds can't sign an agreement, so their parents need to sign up for them. This has actually been beneficial in Jordan. The Jordan Library is right around the corner from the high school, so we're trying to make some inroads there. When you sign up, you will come to the library and you have to provide a photo ID. If you don't have a library card, staff will sign you up for one. And if you currently have one, they will verify that your contact info is still correct. We, of course, make sure that you have a method of contact just in case something happens. And one of the common questions we get is, can I bring guests? The answer is yes, because obviously we want to make this service friendly to families. So, it's kind of challenging to say, yes, mom can come, but all your kids can't. So we're really trying to make sure that, of course, you can bring a guest, but when you sign your agreement, you do have to assume responsibility for anybody you bring with you. So this is just a little bit more about what that opt-in process looks like. Again, this is my colleague Brittany Brown at Jordan doing an actual presentation. So it's very informal. You come up to the desk and say, hey, I'd love to sign up for extended access. The staff will give you a quick packet that you can read through while they're updating your library information. Sign the agreement, staff click a box, and you can actually use the service immediately. It's a pretty quick turnaround. Now you may be wondering, who's actually using extended access? Who is this for? So I've been gathering some really, really deep statistics in Jordan to find out who is this really going to benefit in our community. So the first thing to know is that as of today, because I updated this data today, we currently have 180 Scott County residents signed up for extended access in Jordan. So that means that those people, when we implement extended access here in Elko, will also be able to use Elko New Market. The age group that we're seeing the most is 55 and older. And you can see here on the side that I've started identifying some folks who are really starting to benefit from this. And I can talk a little bit more about who those people are in a minute. And also, obviously the zip codes, pretty common, pretty clear that most of the people who are using it are living in Jordan, because it's the Jordan Library. But we also are seeing residents from other Scott County cities come to use the service, either because they commute, because it's closer to their work, or because they have specific needs that Jordan's really fulfilling for them. So some of those folks may be early risers, commuters, big time, remote workers. We're seeing a lot of remote work in the library, and it's very exciting. And a lot of families with young kids. And of course, what are they doing? Why would anybody want to come to the library at 6 a.m. or later at night? Part of it is that it's convenient for them. One of the biggest transactions that we see during extended access is people just coming to pick up their holds. They've put something on reserve, they're coming home from work, they need to stop into the library. It's very easy for them to just come in, grab their stuff, and go. The other thing that people, of course, love to do at the library is to browse. It's been such a pleasant experience, I've been hearing, for extended access people to be able to just browse the library at the time they want to browse in a way that makes them feel comfortable. And that's a really exciting experience that we want to extend out into the community. And then for me, as the technology manager, number 3 is really important to me. We have members of our community who may have inconsistent access to the internet, or maybe have poor access to the internet, or maybe don't have it at home. So we know, and I know, having spoken to these folks, that there are people in our community who are benefiting from being able to come to the library to be able to use the Wi-Fi or a computer whenever they need it. Now, when are they visiting? I know it's a little bit challenging to see. This is a 24-hour time format, so the column all the way here on the left is the 6 to 7 a.m. hour, and the column all the way on the right is the 9 to 10 p.m. hour. As you can see, the early morning is very popular, which was actually a pretty exciting find for me. The days of the week that people are visiting are Thursdays and Fridays, which is pretty unsurprising because Jordan is closed on both of those days. But as you can see, we're not really having like a bunch of parties in Jordan late at night. Unfortunately, no one's picking the Jordan Library to be, their party spot. Too bad. But 6 a.m., folks getting up, coming to the library to pick up their stuff, and even just being in front of the fireplace to start reading early on, it's very exciting. And how often is this being used? So we're actually seeing about 11 people per day coming in to use this service since September 1st. When we were running the pilot, that average was about 6 people per day, and as the program has been growing, it's grown to about 11 average people per day. We can have up to more than 20 people coming in a day on a Thursday or a Friday. And also, that number, I love this number, the number of times that Jordan has been unlocked since September 1st is over 1,500 times. So this is getting use. There are repeat customers. There are folks who are really appreciating this service and getting a lot of work out of it. This is just to support that previous slide to show you we've been piloting a people counter in Jordan, a digital one, to get some more granular data about when people want to visit the library. The main takeaway to take away from this slide is that obviously, 6 to 7 a.m., Saturday and Sunday, maybe people don't want to get up too early on a Saturday and Sunday, but also to demonstrate that those late at night hours, we are offering them, but they aren't that popular, but we're going to continue offering them. But I think that the late night hours maybe cause a little bit of nervousness or concern for the community, but it's not that popular. Now, how can residents learn or ask about the service? So we've been spreading the word since November 1st. If you come to any Scott County Library, you can see a flyer, a takeaway flyer that directs folks to talk to the Jordan Library or learning a little bit more about how to ask questions about it. We have information on our website, social media, all that stuff. If you have read the recent Scott County Residents Report, there's a really big article in it about the pilot to learn more about the service. And another question you may be having is, so if there's nobody in the library, and you may not be there, you meaning the staff may not be there for a couple days, how do people get in touch with you? How do people tell you if, oh my goodness, I walked into the library and there was a burst pipe, or oh my goodness, something happened and I need to tell somebody? We have multiple avenues for our users to tell us what's going on. We keep an open line of communication. The first is that right here we have an app, the ScottLibMin app, pretty cool. Within 2 taps, you can get to an online form to be able to send in a report of something that's happening. I am the person who receives the reports. It is a very easy and convenient way for someone to get in touch with me. We also have little QR codes throughout the library for people to get to that form. And we also have some paper comment cards for those folks who want to share feedback, but maybe it's not that urgent. Here's an example of one of those comment cards. This is one of the really nice comments that we received from a mom and her son about why extended access benefited them that day. And in case you can't read, I put the transcription right there. It says, love the extended access. For example, there was no school today, and we were able to get 2 youngsters in for reading materials. And Logan said, thank you for more hours. And this is a final quote, I won't read it off to you, from a recent article from the Jordan Independent. As you can see, when we have a family that signs up, it also spreads the joy. We have lots of folks who are signing up their teens, their elderly parents, they're all doing it. So this is becoming more and more popular. And you can also see on the handout that I provided you, a little chart here at the bottom that demonstrates how the program has been growing. So that is all I have for my presentation. Do we want to open up for questions?
Maybe just a quick item, just to reiterate for the council. So essentially what the county library system is looking for from us is soft local consent. Because the relationship between the city and the library system is we own the building. We're responsible for the structure, the maintenance of the structure, the janitorial maintenance of the building, and the grounds maintenance associated with the building. The best way to think of it is if you pick the library up and you shook it, everything that falls out is the library system. Everything that remains generally is our responsibility. So as Christy pointed out, if they're looking to make changes in their operation that affect the facility itself, they just can't do it unilaterally. They need to work with the city on it. The items with which we've met with them as staff, we've had lengthy discussions. The chiefs looked at security concerns because potentially expanded hours, if does it place greater burden on the police department and so on. The areas that we've really identified that are most likely that we still need to work on is, or just the council be aware of, is potential energy consumption at the building. You're running longer hours with lights on, HVAC, all of those types of things, so that may increase our utility costs for the building. From a janitorial standpoint, we've talked to our janitorial staff. Our current janitorial contractor does not feel, given the amount of work that they're doing, that immediately it would require additional day. They're just, it's not that much that he's doing up there right now. However, if we do go to an additional day, it would be additional $5,000 a year based on our current costs for janitorial services there to budget every year if we end up having to do it a different day. It does require a certain level of cooperation from library staff. They're going to have to recognize that janitorial staff still only comes once a week, and our public works staff is not available to immediately run up and replace towels and bathrooms and toilet paper and things like that. The other item that we need to take a look at is snow removal, because that is an issue. Right now, the hours are generally during the day. During the week, it's easy for our public works staff, who is responsible for parking lot snow removal up there, to be able to work it into their normal snow removal activities and have it open during the current library hours. If you're looking at expanded library hours, that places a different demand and potential expectation and potential liability with regards to the city if it's not plowed, so that's a potential issue. The sidewalks, based on a handshake agreement with the CDA, is that it's shoveled by the senior housing project staff. So they just have to shovel it once, and it just has to be done by the time the library opens, and we're good. This creates a whole different level of service, so there are some discussions that will need to be held on that particular issue.
So I think you're looking for just general, right? We don't need to get into all the details.
Correct. Staff doesn't see that there's any showstoppers here related to this, so.
So let me just open it up to the council. Does anybody have objections to anything you're hearing? I mean, I think this sounds great. Right?
Yeah.
I'm super excited about this. Thank you. I'm so glad to hear that.
Does anyone have any questions or anything? Well, thank you so much for the
Thank you.
presentation.
Can I, Mr. Mayor, can you talk just like 1 minute on the library fines that we aren't going to have anymore? Would you be prepared to do that? Or
Sure.
Okay.
What would you like to know?
just tell them what we're doing with fines, and do you guys know about that? We're getting rid of the library fines? Or?
No, I wasn't aware.
Yes, Scott County Library permanently eliminated late fines as of March 1st. We have had them on pause since the beginning of the pandemic, And we made that choice to permanently eliminate them after carefully looking at our budget and seeing how the past 2 years that hasn't been an overly difficult burden for us to, to our budget. And also, in our discussions with the county board, we also talked about it kind of costs us more to collect that fine than it does for us to actually, gain that money back. So we decided it is better for our community to have an opportunity to keep reading, keep learning, rather than trying to spend staff time on those types of negative interactions. And, we've all been there. We've all been that. We've had young kids who've lost books. It's really tough to be a parent who really wants to check out a library book and their 5-year-old child left a book at home, and it's like, okay, I guess we're going to have to pay that when we find that. We want to make sure that that particular type of interaction isn't what Scott County Library is known for. So we're really excited that this will create a better relationship between us and our customers, and also allow us to spend our staff time doing more transformational transactions rather than negative ones. Thank you.
That's cool.
Anyone else have any questions?
Super exciting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
very much.
Okay, we'll move on to public comment. Anyone's here to speak under public comment?
I just own that contract for your corrections hall.
You came to give it to me?
If you want it.
Yeah.
Commissioner Wolf.
Thank you again for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure, let's go.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Councilors, everybody. Tom Wolf, Scott County Commissioner. I'm glad she talked about that library thing because of the getting rid of the fines, because that would have taken me 5 or 10 minutes, so. anyways. Most of you, if not all of you, probably got your property tax statements from the county, and some of you might have seen an increase in property values. Anybody saw an increase besides me? Anybody? Don't equate that into my taxes are going to go up 25%, okay? So, just the climate we're in right now, the houses are going like hotcakes. And do I look at it? I was a financial advisor. If my house goes up in value, which it did, I think 120 or 140,000, I don't think that's a bad thing that my investment went up in value. Because when I go to sell it, that's a good thing. So, but that, unless our county or the city or the school raises their levy 25%, we won't see those big taxes. So if you're watching, and your taxes went up 23%, which was the average, that doesn't equate to, that's how much you're going to pay in extra taxes. So anyhow, the new building, our Government Center West and the East remodeling, we did the ribbon cutting on it last Tuesday. I hope everyone can get over that way to take a look at it. I think Tom and Joe, you probably been over that. I don't know if anybody else has. It's very nice. And we're still waiting on redistricting. So we're waiting on a couple cities to actually put together, actually we should have it by Tuesday, where their precinct boundaries are going to be, so we can allocate how many per, we need about 30,000 residents per commissioner district. So it's possible I lose Elko in the market. I hope not, but
We'll miss you.
anyhow.
That was too quick and too easy.
Wow! The door hit you. I thought I was going to get it.
I'm kidding, we love everything you do.
Anyhow, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, anyhow, we'll just see, there's a lot of growth up in the Shakopee, Prior Lake, and Savage area, and so they're, it's, I don't know, we'll just see what happens. So, anyhow, that's all I have.
Awesome.
So it's nice that the libraries are going to be open so long. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else care to speak under public comment? If not, we'll go ahead and close public comment.
Nope, we'll take care of you.
On to consent agendas. Anyone have any items they have questions on or would like to pull? If not, motions are,
Consent agenda?
this motion by Kate,
Second.
this is second by Amanda, all in favor? Aye. Consent agenda passes.
24.4%.
set?
Did you just do a consent agenda?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make a quick note to the council. Most of the council may be met before the meeting, but just to acknowledge that Dean George with Quick Trip has made the trip up to make sure everything is smoothly today.
It's actually down for me, I live in the metro.
Oh, you do? Okay. So if you have any questions about Quick Trip, now's the time. And then Jim Conley also has been, with APRA, has been very patient with the city and working through the Edelman AUAR, so he is here as well.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
We
thank
appreciate
you.
it, certainly. Great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anytime you want to hold the bulletproof. I'll take you off on it.
Start thinking about the second one pretty soon.
Thank you.
Thank
We're
you.
pretty excited.
We have no public hearings, so we'll go into general business. Some training?
No, so this is, the council's being asked to basically approve a cooperative procurement membership agreement with One Government Procurement Alliance, or one GPA, which is like HGAC or state bid that allows us to purchase without bidding. It's already been pre-bid through that organization. And then subsequently authorize the purchase basically of the equipment and installation of the upgrades to the council chambers and the training room in the back, to follow through on the council direction to get proposals for upgrading so that we can do dual, virtual, and in-person meetings here in the council chambers. Concurrent with that, the fire department's looking to upgrade their AV system back in the training room A and B. So we got quotes from the same company at the time. Normally, we would go out for proposals, and we did, and the company that we're using is a member of one GPA, but they were the lowest person when we went out for proposals initially by far, and they had the best understanding of the scope of work, and we've actually been working with them for years, and we've been very pleased with the services that they've offered the city. Just to give you a very quick rundown of what it would mean, as you know, we'd be looking to go back to a Zoom environment for the virtual meetings. We would be looking to relocate that camera over to here, because at that point, if we're working in that virtual environment, you will be able to look at the presentations on your laptops. We do not need to project up on the wall anymore. And then we would be putting two 80-inch TVs on the back walls, back wall of the room here, that would allow the audience to be able to see the presentations, but also see the people that are interacting remotely with the presentations. We would be upgrading our wonderful microphones, which are now well over a decade old, with regular gooseneck mics, which would provide better sound than we currently have, and would allow for cough buttons and things like that as well. They will be doing something, a similar type of improvements in the back room, less the mics. It's for doing training. The difference there is they'll be going with large monitors on the north wall, because right now with the depth of the room, it makes it difficult to hear presenters. People are blocked by people sitting in front of them, and anytime anybody goes by in the hallway or in and out of the room, it interrupts what's going on in there. So this would be changing it. And also the technology would be upgraded to make it easier for presenters to give presentations and also be able to do it remotely and not have to come here to do the presentations. Both rooms would then also be enabled so that we'd be able to do video conferencing within those rooms if we really wanted or needed to. So we are asking the council to take on the 3 actions that are identified within the council memo.
Yeah. Anyone have any questions? Okay.
Would that give overflow capability, like if we had a large?
Absolutely, that's one of the benefits. So as you know, when we've had really large meetings, people are standing out in the hallway. This would provide for monitors out in the hallway. We already have the speakers, so people will be able to watch in the hallway. But what it would also do is it will allow people to sit back in the training room B and be able to see the meeting on 2 large monitors as well. So it gives us a lot more capacity with the space that we have right now.
Is there a resolution or something that we need to pass?
No, the council could simply
Okay.
approve the motions as presented in the staff memorandum.
So moved. Second.
So motion by Josh, second by, is that Kate? All in favor?
Aye.
Sweet. Motion passes. Thank you, Tom.
And that is all ARPA funds, right? If I read it correctly?
Training room is donated capital outlay dollars for fire relief. We would be using not directly from ARPA, but they would be funds that we collected through loss of revenue
Okay.
through the ARPA.
All right, under reports. Administration.
I don't have anything to add.
Public Works, anything to be added for Public Works?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Chief, did you want to go to next?
my time to the next meeting.
All right.
Who are you?
Sure.
Want to get done with Brady?
Yeah, right.
It's totally not time sensitive, and I don't think we have a big agenda next meeting, so it'll fit in perfect.
Okay, thank you. Fire Department, anything to be shared there?
Not at this time. I've given council interim updates. Hopefully have something maybe by our next meeting.
Okay. Engineering?
No report, but I'll answer any questions if you have.
Okay. Community Development?
All right. Parks. With the minutes there, is there any additional parks items?
CCEC?
We packed a bunch of Easter egg hunt bags, and Easter egg hunt is on April 9th, and registration's open right now.
All right.
That's what I got.
Other reports, Scale Exec is next week. This Scale General Membership is the week after. So more to come on that via email. Service delivery, anything?
Nothing beyond similar topics to what we've previously been discussing. Probably the biggest one is we had a big presentation on the security fencing topic in the Metro Area Coalition. Right now, Brady and I believe that once there's more information on it, we may want to seriously entertain joining the coalition. It looks like it solves a lot of the previous issues related to procuring security fencing that we previously presented to the council. But there's also a chance that the state may fund the program, maybe the initial purchase, which would significantly reduce the overall cost, because then you're just paying for storage and contracting for setup and delivery. In addition, then you're not leasing the product. So more to come on that, but we think that's something we should seriously take a look at.
Yeah.
MBTA?
No report.
I-35?
No report. Okay. Discussion by council. I had asked Tom to include this in here, and I'm not looking for any, I guess I'm just looking to see if this is something the council is interested in discussing. It's been a while since council members and commissioners have received any kind of pay adjustment, and I think it's time. It's a fairly minor impact to the budget on what we do. I don't know what we will do, but in the past, staff has put together information on what other cities are paying. Does anyone object us having a look at that this time?
No.
No. Okay. That's all I was really looking for. So.
Any other discussions to be had? If not, any motions to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Josh.
Second.
Second by Bryce. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.